Hi everybody, welcome to Chapter 10, where we'll discuss distribution. Chapter 10, Learning Objectives, is to understand the concept of channel structure and the alternative channels available, know the varying levels of distribution intensity, and the considerations in implementing each alternative, understand the concept of vertical marketing systems and their application in healthcare, describe the nature of channel leadership and conflict in the channel, and recognize the application of retailing in healthcare strategy. Channel distribution is the path a product takes as it travels from manufacturer to consumer. Key decisions: how the product should be distributed and the place component of marketing mix, who within the channel should perform specific functions, how much coverage of the market is needed, and how the channel can be controlled by the provider of the service. Alternative channels of distribution: direct channel, a direct channel is one which no one stands between the producer of the product and the ultimate consumer. An indirect channel may have several intermediaries between the producer and the ultimate consumer. Functions in channel utilities. Place is the manner in which goods or services are distributed by a firm for use by consumers. The time utility refers to the fact that many intermediaries store the product until the consumer wants to purchase the item. In asynchronous interaction in healthcare, the time utility is such that a patient must physically go to the provider of the healthcare organization. In an asynchronous interaction, time utility is more of an immediate interaction. Table 10-1 on the next slide shows these concepts. Another is possession or financing. Another is form in the fourth utility provided by some intermediaries that is of form or alteration in which the intermediary actually changes the product for the consumer. This chart shows the asynchronous and synchronous time utility comparison value components. Functional shifting is the moving of different functions such as credit, sorting, etc. between the producer of a product or service and its intermediaries or the consumer. The intermediary can be eliminated, but the function has to shift to some other entity in the channel. Channel management is a major consideration in the establishment of place component in the marketing mix. This includes the degree of distribution required, gaining channel cooperation, and dealing with conflict. Organizations must decide how available the product will be to consumers. Channel intensity will determine how available the product is to the ultimate consumer. Must consider the customer's expenditures of effort and external search. Three different areas within this are intensive, selective, and exclusive. Intensity of distribution is a strategy typical of consumer goods manufacturers. The product is available in a large number of outlets, includes consumer products such as chewing gum and cigarettes. In healthcare, it would be your primary care clinics. Exclusive channel intensity includes specialty items such as fine jewelry and perfume. In healthcare, this would be an academic medical center. Selective intensity includes shopping products such as a home computer or audio equipment. In healthcare, it would be your specialty clinics. Vertical marketing system, channels in which intermediaries are integrated so their functions are performed at the most efficient place within the channel, typically driven by production cost savings, transaction cost savings, improved coordination of services, overcoming market imperfections, management of internal factors, and environment changes. Forward vertical integration is a strategy of incorporating products or services that are related to the firm's existing activities and that have usually been developed and offered by others in the marketplace. Backwards integration is a strategy of incorporating new products and services that make the firm its own supplier. Three common forms are corporate, administered, and contractual. Corporate integration combines both the production and distribution of a product or service under one corporate ownership. Administered, the coordination between channel members but there's not common ownership. And contractual, which is cooperative, agreements between channel members on the same level, or franchise contracts that links manufacturing and distribution. Evolving channels in healthcare. Disintermediation is the elimination of the middleman and the provision of the product or service with the utilization of the web and direct access to the consumer base. Reintermediation is the appearance of specialized intermediaries in the channel of distribution who efficiently link buyers and sellers in cyberspace. Channel conflict occurs when a channel member perceives the attainment of its goals or effective performance is impeded by another. Vertical conflict occurs when there is a conflict between entities at different levels of the channel. Horizontal conflict occurs when there is conflict between two entities that exist at the same level of channel. The areas of conflict are goal, domain, and perceptual. Goal conflict is when channel members have different understanding of their objectives. Domain conflict is when the parties in the channel understand responsibilities differently, and perception conflict is when the parties read the market differently and actions vary. Channel leadership: the channel commander dictates or controls the activities of the other members of the channel. Can be manufacturer when the product is very popular, can be a wholesaler if the product is to be distributed to a large number of manufacturers or retailers, or can be a retailer when it has a strong image or extensive market coverage. Sources of power are coercive, economic, reward, referent, and expertise. Coercive power is when the source of power uses threats to modify behavior. Economic power occurs when one member of the channel has significantly more economic resources than another. Reward power occurs when intermediaries are provided significant incentive to cooperate. Referent power relies on the name or reputation of the organization. And expertise power occurs when a firm has recognized expertise in a particular area. Retailing concepts. Structural dimensions of true retail market. Intermediaries alive with supply and demand. Demand driven by engaged and informed consumers, and supplies restructured. Figure 10-8, titled Components of a Robust Retail Healthcare Market, shows the interrelationships of these three dimensions. The retail positioning matrix, based on the breadth of the retailer's product line and the value added, has 4 quadrants. See figure 10-9 for the position must be chosen that offers an identity in the market relative to competitors. There are 5 steps. Strategic direction is when an organization must decide whether to be a full service or a partial service provider. Current positioning includes an organization understanding its current composition using quantitative and qualitative information. Competitive positioning involves using primary and secondary data to be employed to understand the competitors' positions. Alternative evaluation is when an organization should compare its current position with competitors to identify gaps, weaknesses, and strengths. In plan development and implementation, the position selected should reflect the organization's attributes and conventions. The retail mix is the goods and services that an organization offers. The goods and services component pertains to the breadth and depth of the product line, the prices, and the level of service delivery. The number of locations, the hours open, the transportation of products are all part of the distribution side of the retailing mix. The communication component of the retailing mix includes social media, advertising, personal selling, public relations, catalogs, and brochures. The Wheel of Retailing describes the process of how new retail forms enter the market and how they evolve over time. Here's figure 10-11, the Wheel of Retailing. The channel distribution is the path a product takes as it moves from producer to end user, or the path a patient takes when he or she moves through the healthcare system to the appropriate level of care. Within the channel distribution, intermediaries provide value in the form of utility. In establishing the channel distribution, organizations must decide the level of intensity of service delivery. In order to control the channel of distribution and obtain greater efficiencies, organizations can integrate either forward or backward. The growing formation of integrated delivery systems in healthcare is the vertical integration strategy. In any distribution channel, there is often a single entity or leader who can dictate or control policies within its intermediaries. There are several sources of power available to any distribution channel member. They are economic power, rewards, referent power, coercion, or expertise. The channel in healthcare is changing with intermediation, re-intermediation, and disintermediation. Conflict in the channel can occur as is either horizontal or vertical. Conflict can be either goal-based, domain-based, or perceptual. Organizations can be positioned perpetually in terms of the breadth of their product line and the perceived added value. Healthcare organizations have a retail mix that include their pricing policies, distribution, services, and communication tactics. In the service industries, new market entrants tend to start as low margin, low status, mature and grow. This low entry position is left open to new retail forms.